If you ever wanted to achieve some of those iconic Dick Dale sounds, this is the amp to get. Hey everyone, this is Kārlis from Amalgam Audio, and in today's episode of Storytime we're going to take a look at the Fender Showman. This is a 1962 Fender Showman Blonde version. This one is quite a bit different design than the black panel dual Showman that we featured some time ago in our channel, because this one has the typical brown panel era appointments, starting with the presence control that is global on both channels. You have the typical bass and treble tone stack of the brown panel amps, and it also has the typical brown panel mid-forward, slightly fuzzy, cleanish tones that are very different to the black panel stuff. And this is specifically the same model which was used by Dick Dale for his iconic tones, and this is the amp for that kind of stuff. So it has a really huge headroom for a brown panel amp, but it still will retain this typical quality of the slightly broken up clean that all of the brown panel era amps have. Along with the other typical brown panel features, this amp also has the legendary harmonic tremolo, or vibrato, how Leo Fender called it. So it is not really a true tremolo, nor actually vibrato. It is a different effect of its own. It is actually a way of modulating the higher and lower frequencies of the signal in opposing directions, so to speak, and that gives this kind of a phasey effect that is somewhere between a tremolo and vibrato. And this amp does that beautifully, so let's take a listen how that sounds. So this amp, as all of the big brown panel amps, features two channels, the vibrato channel and the normal channel. What is not typical for these amps is that in this case the normal channel sounds a lot stronger and bigger compared to the vibrato channel. It's really a rock machine of a channel, so if you want some gutsy, punchy, tight sounds, the normal channel is the one to go for. The vibrato channel will have some slightly more scooped sound for some beautiful, clean and edge of breakup sounds. So similar to the dual Showman, the base of this amp are 4 6L6 output tubes. It has a whopping 6 preamp tubes, and basically a half of them are responsible for the harmonic tremolo, which is a very complex and in-depth effect. So the dual Showman has an output of 4 ohms, and it is actually meant to be connected to 2 cabs. And that's why it actually is also called dual Showman, because of the number of cabs that it is meant to be run with. And the Showman has an 8 ohm output, which corresponds to the impedance of the single speaker cab that came with the Showman amps. So originally it came with a cab that has a 1x15 speaker, which is, you know, a really huge, huge speaker, and that gives it a really massive punch. We're running this amp with a 2x12 cabinet featuring some Jensen speakers. It's a great match for that, but we haven't yet acquired a 1x15 cab for this amp, so I'm looking forward to checking that out at some point. This amp will take pedals beautifully in the normal channel. That's the channel to go for if you want to add some overdrives in front of it. Also fuzzes and other distortion effects. It will swallow them up without any hiccup. So at this point we have tried all of the highest wattage Fenders that are meant for guitar from all the most iconic eras. So we have the high-powered twin from the Tweed era, we have the dual Showman from the black panel era, and the twin reverb from the black panel era, and we have the brown panel Showman. And these amps have a lot of things in common. All of them are basically the non-plus ultra amp if you want the best clean tones within any of those Fender eras. That's the amp to get for that. They will also have a really great crunch tone or edge of breakup tone. And because of the headroom they have, they will have a very massive impact on the attack of the notes. So they're really great for some rhythm style playing, for the rhythm guitar. All of them exhibit less compression than the smaller amps. They all have a solid state rectifier, so that gives them a more immediate attack and a much quicker response. And it's interesting to note that now when we reach the biggest amp of the brown panel era, it is clear that this slightly broken up quality of the cleans of the brown panel amps is just inherent to all of the designs. So it's not a headroom issue or a thing that's just one, let's call it a feature or a characteristic of the amps from this era. So from the smallest deluxe amp up to the Showman amp, they all exhibit this kind of behavior. And this also leads to the fact that they have a fantastic overdriven tone that will rival any Marshall any day of the week. One of my favorite tones on this amp is on the normal channel. It's an edge of break-off kind of sound. I set the volume on 7, treble on 8, and the bass on 3. That has a really massive and punchy, dynamic kind of open edge of break-off tone, and that gives us a really massive, punchy and open edge of breakup tones. So let's check it out, how it sounds with the Strat. Fabian will play us out with some riffs on captures we did of this amp. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and see you around.